So this is a brief introduction in how to use Smartplant PID. What we are looking at here is the 2009 version. It has a canvas, same as all other softwares, similar to all other software where you can make drawings, and there is a menu bar here, which you in this case generally do not use, and some saving options and stuff. But you normally, there's some tools here which we have some zooming tools which we will use a lot. Panning you can use. We copy something maybe sometime, but not very much. Printing we will go through later. Other than this, we have the engineering data editor window down here. I have made it small, so we should use the canvas. We have a catalog with all the symbols. It's like this, that everything in this drawing tool is now comprehensive objects. It has a graphical representation, and it has a lot of properties which we have here later on. The symbols then is this, as everything else in this extraordinary good tool, it can be configured. It's the greatness of the tool, but also one of the biggest weaknesses is that in principle everything can be configured differently, and we have done it like this. We have equipment, we have instrumentation, we have piping, we have some design features. There is some symbols here related to the drawing itself, like title block, revision clouds, stuff like this. We have assemblies. That is something we will go through later. But and you have some, say, drawing elements to enhance the drawing itself. These become less and less useful. We generally use auxiliary graphics instead, which is something that Intergraph has developed more and more. This facility to use auxiliary graphics has been developed more in the later versions of this tool. But the main symbols that we will use to make the content of this drawing is in equipment, instrumentation and piping. And it is organized in different folders just to make it's very user oriented. So we have the most common labels and symbols used with equipment right under the folder root, you can say. So with the instrumentation you have the lines which you will need to change or refurbish. Piping, same. You have the lines just underneath in the root of the folder. So we are going to just do some very simple drawing here to begin with. We take a tank we just place it here. As you see, the natural form of this tank is small. I would say that you experience this as small towards the canvas size. The size of the canvas is something, it's an enlarged A3. If you print it on A3 and don't the sizes of the symbols, especially when it comes to piping symbols and pipe fittings, is small. Even instrument text can be regarded as small compared to what we are used to in this industry. That is an agreement made in the company that we should have it and like that, and everything else that you, as I told you before, can be configured, so you can configure this to become smaller or larger as you wish. The idea is that it should be printable on A3, still readable. When you become like me, over 45 years of age, it's not so readable in the field anymore without some kind of enhanced reading tool like glasses. But anyway, this is the case. We place it here. We think we are going to have a pump also. We're going to see here motors. Yeah, then we will have motors on the pump, so we go with the pump. We would like to have a normal centrifugal pump, or a standard, I would say, more. We place it just here, and as you can see, it looks small. We should have a motor. We deal with that a little bit later. Heat exchangers. What do we have? We have a kettle boiler. We use this. The example will not be very correct, but we do that anyway. So we zoom in a little bit on this, just to see. Yeah, then we will see that there's a grid here, and we will try to work with the grid. Under the view command on the menu bar, you can see that we have show grid, so we can put it off if we would like to have. We would like to use snap grid, and we would like to show inconsistencies. Inconsistency is a concept we will look on later. But you can then zoom into each equipment very close if you like, and you will see that the grid is also has different levels. We have the major grid and the minor grid lines here. So there is some future features also the on each equipment. They are sizable, most of them. So you can click on the equipment, you can press the left mouse button on one of these corners, and you can resize the equipment like that. And undo is available, so we undo this. You can also flip an equipment like this, different ways. That is also possible. We can rotate it You can do it by here, from here. If you hold the cursor close to the center, it will have less angles to choose from, because it chooses, it's not seamless unless you go very far away. Still you can see that it moves in different angles, and the closer you come, here's a 45 degree, 90, like that. Then what we should do is we should zoom out a little bit. That we can do like this also. We have placed the kettle boiler here. Then we realize that of course we're going to heat something, but we are not going to boil it. So we need a shell and tube heat exchanger. We have numbers to choose from now. We can just put them out to see how they look. Actually, like this. Okay. And there's a lot of different jacketed stuff. Okay. This one looks like the one we would like to have. So then we delete this one. We right click, and here is delete model. We can delete to stockpile. That is also a concept that we will look into a little bit later. We delete from all. And this one also now. We can move it around. This one, that we also have a tool that is more possible that we will keep the equipment on the grid if we use this tool. So that is a tip. Okay. What about the tanks then? We click here and we see immediately that the property field is enlightened for this equipment, and it has a lot of fields to be filled out, as we can see. This can also be can show the brief field set, and that is more useful normally, especially in this case where we have not started to fill out all the information. So I fold this together to a brief set simply. Then we would like to have a name or a tag on this tank. Okay. How do we do this? We click on the equipment folder, and as we were on the tanks here, cisterns, we have labels and components for the tanks underneath the organizing folder. So we have a tank description, but that one is actually the information box that we should have in the bottom of the field. So if we go to the root folder, here we have equipment ID and name. So we choose that one and find the insertion point on the tag to connect, because this label can only connect to this kind of equipment here, or actually this kind of label can connect to all equipment symbols. So the stop sign goes away and I click here. Then I click one time and then I got the option to place it wherever I would like to have, like that. So it's a 2-click version. Now I get a new label, as I have not chosen. So I can put the label as many times I wish, like this. I connect to that equipment and where I would like to have it. So now I have 3 labels for the same equipment. It's not so useful, but and then I can continue. I choose this equipment. Okay, I get that tag. And where do I would like to have it? Underneath maybe. Okay. I still have the label tool. Heat exchanger. Okay. It ends up like here. As we can see on the label here, it has a name field and a tag field. The name field we can fill out here. We can call it whatever, like this, and it comes out here in text. The tag field we cannot change here, but if we look on the underlying tag, the underlying equipment, we have a tag, the same tag field. Here we also have the name field here. So the label actually only displays these 2 fields that we have in the underlying equipment. So there is a tag sequence number here which we can change to then become whatever we like. We can call it 01 if we like. And there's a, in this case there's a unit number and the name of the equipment type, which we have called tag prefix. So the tag prefix, the sequence numbers, the suffix and the unit number makes together the tag, item tag in this case. It could be configured in different ways, but this is how it's done here. So we can just add some information here then. We call it, what should we call the tank? We can call it storage tank maybe. That. And we only need 1 label. We put it in the center here. The rest we delete. Like that. Another feature that we have is that we can select an object like this, and when we zoom fit here we will get only that equipment. If we have something, if we don't have anything selected, we'll get the whole drawing like this. So now we would like to connect these items with some piping. So in the reality there is nozzles, and that we have here also then. We have nozzles under equipment, and there's a number of different nozzles to choose from. We have manway, no, that we have on this vessel, so we put it here. What we are going to use is this one that has the label attached to it immediately. It's faster to place that. You can hold the cursor like this for a while and there should be 3 dots coming up. There it didn't. Same with this one. We can then, as this has label attached, it's fixed to the object, but we can still flip so we get the label underneath if we would like to. Nozzle names should of course be according to the drawing. So we share, but here we don't have any drawing, so then we are going to design something that we have not purchased. So then preferably we use 01, 02. It's easier to sort. And as you can see, we didn't get any label for the manway, so we have to place nozzle labels, nozzle ID. And normally this is done with a M in here, and we should put the size here also. And we haven't dropped down this to do that. We need to show the size, of course, as otherwise we cannot see it. So we place it like this. Same here. We don't have any size for this nozzle, so preferably we put it inside the tank. It's easy to see, but we have not given the size here, so we do that. Inch, okay, and here we will have something back that could be a little bit less, and like that. Maybe we should have some feed to the tank also. We could use another nozzle, for instance this one, that doesn't have label. Then it's easier to place the label wherever we would like to. You can also actually place the nozzle in the area like this. How did I do this? You have to press Alt, and then I grab it and move it. But generally you want to place it on the grid, and then it's end up in the fair good place, I would say. We take some size here of some kind, and the label should be there then. And the size. Like that. Now we have to, as you see, we have to do some adjustments, so it's easier, a lot easier to bring with the nozzle from beginning. And here Well, we'll see what happens if we hover over this now. Yeah, we got 3 small dots down there. Now we can choose which of these items we would like to select. So we'll select the nozzle. Like that. So what you see here also is that there is a blue something stripe coming up here. If I hover over it, it will also change the cursor. Yeah, you see that's flipping up the inconsistency stripe also. If I double click here, we will get the information on what is the problem, and connection point is not attached to something. So this is a very good feature of the system. It will bring you information how consistent your design is. So that is very good. So we continue with the pump here. Something like this, maybe. Zero 1 and 02, like that. You say we have 8 inches as discharge. Now the cursor disappeared for me. Here. And here we choose. We have the pump manufacturer says, oh, you only need 12. Okay. We continue to the heat exchanger. We need a nozzle on the tube side here, and it's a double pass, so it goes up out there. We will have some cooling of this media. Cooling water coming in there, and here you can now see that would be better to have that label on the other side. We flip here then, like that. So we use this nozzle again, very close there. Yes. Then we have put out some equipment also with nozzles. So some information has been forgotten also. We start with the piping. And here we have main process line. Connect there, and then you can, of course, if you like, do whatever you wish, like this, and end up there. Bladonk. I press escape to release here. So something has now happened here. nominal value is 16 in one then and 12 in the other. Just that is something we need to take care of. This is the normal case. We need to have a reducer somewhere. And then we look in the piping fittings we have here. Okay. Concentric, eccentric reducer. Oh, that looks pretty well. And as I hover here, I got the three small circles again, and then I can choose the direction of this cone. Go with this one. Okay, now it says it's 16. As the pipe was 16 on both ends, I can just change this to 12. I can also double click here and do the change, but I choose to do it here. And then we had a pipe between the tank and the pump. Yes, and we can put out labels, of course. Let's see what we have. Labels, component and labels. Line number. Same as before, we attach to the object like that. Okay. And we see that there's a lot of information now missing here. We need to have a fluid code, and as we said before, this should be process. And we also get the sequence number here, which we can change to something else like that. Pipe material class we need to fill out. Do we have insulation or tracing on this line? Yeah, we have a heat conservation, insulation. So then we got the label. Like that. And we could just continue with the piping actually in the same way.